Being a project manager means there is something that you begin to understand really, really quickly. And it's this: you're never going to manage two projects in exactly the same way. So, what can you do about scaling your project management efforts on something effectively? Well, base it on complexity, not size. Okay? Bad joke. In this case, it's not the size that matters. Hmm. Base it on stakeholder expectations, but remember, you want to balance those expectations with what you learn about and what you understand about the level of complexity. And last but not least, base it on your own sense of judgment call. What does this really take? What is going to be needed in order to successfully execute this project? In project management, we can manage projects that are itsy bitsy to multi-million. And there is a sense sometimes that if you go into certain sectors, the projects aren't even considered major unless there are at least six zeros behind it. So people often think, well, the bigger the budget, the bigger the schedule, the bigger the project, the more rigorous we have to scale up to a certain level of project management. And I'm not saying that you want to start pulling stuff out or skipping things, but I am saying this. Some projects may be absolutely huge, and yet at its heart, when you break it down, it's very straightforward. Other projects, well, one might even call them programs. Other projects are so complex and touch so many different parts of our organization that you might want to, at that point, scale up the level of rigor and the level of detail that you're going to be managing on an ongoing basis. So base it not on size, but on level of complexity, not just of the product that you're going to be producing, but the level of complexity in how your team and that project are going to be affecting other parts of the performing organization. Okay. Second, taking all of that into account, base it on the stakeholder expectations. Your sponsor is going to have one set of expectations, and while your client could conceivably have a completely different set, hopefully they intersect somewhere. But mostly, remember, part of your job is to meet those expectations. Make sure that they feel comfortable in placing their trust in you and the team. So, scaling your project management effectively means taking their expectations into account, even as you take a look at the levels of complexity. Thirdly, base it on your judgment, your expertise. If you feel this is something that you're a little bit out of your depth, go get help. There are boatloads of us in the project management community who routinely help. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Zimski, you're a consultant. If I ask you for help, you're going to send me a bill. Well, if we've signed a statement of work, you're absolutely right, I will. But if you're just a colleague who needs to run something by me, no. By the way, let's not get haywire here, okay? But in order to prove my point, I'll put my scheduling link in the description of this video. You can find 15 minutes. Go ahead and book it, and we'll chat. Just remember, I can only help if you tell me what it is you might be having a problem with. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you. I can also probably point you in the direction of somebody who might be better able to help you, so that's okay. It's just that your judgment, your experience, your intelligence are some of the most valuable tools that you have, whether you are dealing with a project that has enormous amounts of complexity, or you're dealing with a project that's not only pretty straightforward, but heck, this is about the fourth time you've done a project like this. You got this. Your intelligence, your judgment, your expertise. Okay. Sometimes people want what we might feel, ooh, is a little bit of overkill. But if that's what it takes to make the stakeholder comfortable, I suggest you use your judgment about where you might have to dive in just a little bit deeper to just a little bit lower level of detail. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to scale up all of your project management practices, perhaps just in that one area. Frequently, people have a hot button. Do you know what your key stakeholders' hot buttons are? Yeah, I know. That's a completely different video, all about uncovering hidden stakeholders and potentially hidden objections that can cause major roadblocks. Yeah, it's kind of a thing. So, again, how do you scale up your project management effectively? Base it on complexity, not size. Okay. Complexity, including considerations of interdependency across the organization. Base it on what your stakeholders want from you. Sometimes it means a particular focus in a particular area. Balance that out with what you know to be a good course of action based on complexity. And last but not least, base it on your judgment. Sure, go get a peer review if you feel like you need to. Go ask somebody for their take on your decisions before you've made them really public. But then move forward. You got this. I'm KimiKSP. This video is brought to you by the Leadership Driven Project Management Academy. You can find us on Facebook. You can subscribe here. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Thanks for watching.